Ken, I'd like to throw you a question, too. I mean, if what we're saying is right, then is it appropriate to conclude that there is some higher good in our physical death? That somehow, if it wasn't for physical death, then where would be our redemption from spiritual death?
I think that's exactly right. And as I have given thought, Hugh, to the question of the problem of evil, why does God do these things? It seems to me that clearly God is in the character-building business. He wants to make us the people He intended us to be. And though I don't look forward to my own personal death, the fact of the matter is the characteristic that I think I admire most in people is courage. And I don't know any courageous people who haven't suffered. There is something about the way God builds people into builds a strong moral character.
So you're suggesting that suffering is good from God's perspective? Our suffering?
I am suggesting that God's intended purpose is to build our character through suffering, and therefore that suffering and pain and death, at least in one component, is good.
Well, that's what you get in Hebrews chapter 12, that it is good. How about death? I mean, are you willing to say that physical death is good for us?
Well, now I want to jump in here before he answers that, because 1 Corinthians 15, for example, talks about death as being the last enemy shall be destroyed. And sometimes I kind of joke with Hugh on the radio show that he kind of has it sounds sometimes a little romantical view about death. And he says, this could be for our good. But Ken, as a theologian, can you address that for me?
Sure. I think that both of those concepts are true simultaneously, but in a different way, so they don't violate the law of non-contradiction. I think there is a certain sense in which death is the last enemy. Death is that result, that the effects of our fall. And so in that way, we're still struggling with the repercussions of that terrible sin. And the other perspective, and of course this is the point that Hugh is making, is that the way to the best of all possible worlds is passing through this world. And this is the world in which our characters are changed and transformed. I mean, I bring up my wife and I. My wife's tendency in relating to our children is always protect them, protect them, protect them. Mine is a little bit different, though I want to protect them. I want them to grow and to mature and to be educated. And so we have to reach a middle ground of not exposing our children to too much harm, but I want them to be people of character, because I'm not going to always be there to hold their hand through life. If I am a father, and I can think of God as a father, I think that death is a very important thing. St. Augustine, who of course is my favorite Christian philosopher, he asked the question in the Confessions, is it a life that leads to death, or is it a death that leads to life?
Right, very good.